Welcome to Takacs McGinnis Elder Care Law's Hidden Costs of Caregiving mini-course. I'm Debra King, one of the firm's Elder Care Coordinators. In this video, we're going to take a look at the personal costs of caregiving. If you're like many people caring for elderly loved ones, you're doing it for the right reasons. On some days, the job can be gratifying, but on other days, it may not be so rewarding. You may not feel so generous. You may find yourself wishing that you didn't have to be the caregiver. Sometimes you might even resent the person you're caring for. One hidden cost involves the relationship you have with the person you're caring for. That relationship always changes once you become the caregiver. It's inevitable. You're no longer the daughter or the spouse or the son or the grandchild. You're the person rolling them over to clean their backside or fetch their drink or help them to the bathroom. Having that kind of responsibility for another person alters a relationship. Most of the family caregivers we work with don't realize this has happened until we point it out. If you're saying things like, "I just want to be the daughter again," or "I just want to be her husband again," you're in a relationship that has been changed by caregiving. Even if you're not providing hands-on care, your relationship with your loved one will still change because you're basically in charge of their life. You're hiring caregivers to come into the home. You're making sure those caregivers do a good job. You're filling in when the people you hired don't show up. You're finding a place where your loved one can live. You're trying to keep them safe. You make sure they eat enough and take their medications on time. You shuttle them back and forth to doctor's appointments. When you're doing all these things, it's hard to be just another member of the family. These things take time, which leads me to the second hidden personal cost of caregiving. The time you spend taking care of your relative isn't free. Those hours have to come from somewhere. Something's got to give, and it's usually your personal time. When another person's needs are more pressing, the caregiver's social activities are often the first thing to go. You may stop seeing your friends as often as you used to. Maybe you don't see them at all, and those friendships end. Maybe you don't get your hair done as often as you used to. Maybe you stop being able to participate in life with your spouse or your own children or your grandkids. Those relationships represent yet another hidden cost of caregiving, time with your own family. You're so busy caring for your elderly relative that you miss music recitals, ball games, and other family gatherings. You miss out on your life with them. Another hidden cost involves your health. When you're caring for older adults, you never know what new emergency the day is going to bring. You're always waiting for the other shoe to drop. The resulting stress is toxic. But that's not the only health-related cost. Maybe you stop going to the dentist for your 6-month checkups. Maybe you stop going to the doctor because you can't find the time. I know one caregiver who put off hip replacement surgery for 2 years because she was caring for her elderly father. Another caregiver delayed a knee replacement because there was no one to take care of her husband. Still another caregiver I know had breast cancer that she ignored during the years she was taking care of her husband. When he died and she finally went to the doctor, it was too late. There's a subtle irony here, and I hope you don't miss it. It has to do with the goals we have when we're caring for loved ones. If your goal is to do whatever it takes to keep your loved one at home, and you ignore your needs in the process, you may end up creating the very situation you were trying to avoid. You end up sick or dead, and your loved one ends up in a facility anyways. Caring for elders is more demanding than caring for children. When we're raising our kids, in most cases, we know that one day, usually by the early 20s, they're going to be ready to move out. With older adults, the opposite is true. When you agree to look after an elderly loved one, you have no way of knowing how long your services will be needed. Your loved one's situation will only get worse, and it could go on for decades. If you're a caregiver, you may believe that the personal costs of caregiving are unavoidable. It's just what good people do when a family member needs help. There's just one problem. Most people make those sacrifices without truly understanding the consequence of constantly pushing your own needs to the side. Trust me on this, there are always consequences. When your life is dedicated to meeting the needs of another person, you lose yourself in the process. It's just a matter of time. In the next video in the Hidden Costs of Caregiving mini-course, you'll learn about the hidden financial costs of caregiving. We'll see you then.